afternoon, Oxen. Could you?
Good morning, Christina. Or is it afternoon where you are? I see her iPhone is logged in.
Are you asking me a question?
I was just saying good morning to Christina.
Oh.
So another minute or so, we got a bunch of people popping in right now. Once we start the meeting, my tech is going to mute you. And if at the end we've got some time left, we'll do questions and answers. Otherwise, for the people from Auto Trim, you can certainly reach out to me through the app that we have in-house. Okay, well, I have 11 a.m., so I try to be punctual with my business. So let the games begin. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Google Takeover Workshop. My name is John DeYoung. I've met some of you now already. Others of you, just welcome. Our workshop is going to be specifically about giving you the tools that you need to build your Google business profile. Can I get some thumbs up? Everybody can hear me all right? You can see me all right? Okay, perfect. So we're going to run for about 45 minutes. It may take a little bit longer. There's absolutely no solicitation for business in here. This is simply training. So it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm just thankful that you're here, and then I'm going to have an opportunity to share some of the things that I've learned through my successes and mistakes. It's going to be some really cool stuff. And what we're going to learn is how to dominate or get you to the first page of Google Business Profile without the expense and the slow time that comes from what I call BSEO and the constant work that you have to do building backlinks and Facebook ads and that sort of thing. So we're going to get right into it, and I want to share a couple of things. I want us to be on the same page of understanding who can benefit from this training. So anybody who's got an online business like you and I probably do, or if you're selling products or services, but we can also help coaches or people who are doing live events, people who are doing consulting or one-on-one, and hire and training experts will also be able to take advantage of this as well. So Google Business Profile is also good for online businesses. So you're probably going to get a lot out of today's training. So I want to recommend that you take notes, have a pen and paper handy, because this for some people will be available in our exclusive group, but other people won't have access to this training again. So who's going to benefit from the training as far as the business goes? Well, people that already have happy customers and know how to deliver results. If you're an established business and you're looking for some extra oomph, you want to give your business a big bump, or if you have an online platform or you're willing to create one, then the Google Business Profile will definitely be profitable for you and you'll get some serious benefit from it. Now, the program that I'm talking about is not available, or it's not going to be great for everybody if you don't have a product that you can sell profitably. If you're not making money, don't bother spending money on this. If you're looking for a magic bullet to save your business, and I get some people coming to me saying, John, I need your help with this. This is organic, so it takes a little bit of time to turn it around. So it takes some time to manifest. So we can't rescue a business. That's not really what we're about. We're about building businesses. And if you're not interested in more leads, if you're running at capacity now, then this is not for you. But you know what? It's still a good idea to build for the future, because while the economy is strong right now, it's going to slow down. And then when people are looking for your services in the future, if you're the one who's got the first appearance up on Google results, then you're going to be the one who gets the business for the future. And lastly, if you don't have time to work on your Google Business Profile, or you don't have the money, you got to do one or the other, either invest the time or invest the money, then this isn't for you. So a brief lesson on what we're going to go over here in the Google Workshop is a 4-part series. One is a history of Google and Google Business Profile, where it came from. The second thing is to identify the main problems that you as a business is going to have. And in 3, I'm going to give you 4, maybe 5 actionable topics that you can execute today and start turning your business around or adding more business virtually immediately. And lastly, we're going to give you an opportunity to seek additional help if you want it. Certainly not obligated to do this to go forward with us, but I want to give you the training so that you can improve your business. So I know what I'm covering today is absolutely perfect for my auto trim members that are watching this today, because I've proven it myself in my own business. And the reason I'm telling you what will and what won't work is because there's been times when I've been working on the business and I didn't have time to do things and it just stalled out. But if you're wanting to build more revenue, you're going to love this, especially since no additional equipment is required. And it's an opportunity for you as a sign shop to deal with your existing customers and build additional monthly recurring revenue. And everybody loves additional recurring revenue, right? So my wife and I, Barbara, bought the business in 2009. We have 3 sons, and they are all out of the house right now, but they've all worked in the business at one time or another. We have 2 beautiful daughters-in-law, and we just became grandparents this year, so we're very excited about that. And yeah, that's a little bit about our history. We bought the business in 2009 because in 2008, I was in surgery and I almost died. And for the 2 weeks that I was off, my boss kept calling me and saying, "Hey, John, when are you coming back to work? When are you coming back to work?" So I pretty much lost faith in that company and my boss because he disrespected me so much and didn't care about my family or our well-being. So I knew I couldn't work for a guy like that anymore. So I did what probably a lot of you did. I remortgaged my house. I took out some bigger lines of credit and I bought my own business. So that's probably a similar story to a bunch of you. Let's talk a little bit about my Google business background. So I came across Google about 9 years ago, and I signed up for Google Plus and I already had that in place. And then I was out doing an install of some graphics at a lawyer's office. And the guy was so happy with it at the end, he said to me, "Hey, let me give you a Google review." And I said, "Well, what's that?" And he goes, "Well, come on here around the desk and I'll show you." So he looked me up. We already had the Google Plus platform going. So I was smart enough to do that. And he left me a 5-star Google review. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything. I didn't even reply to him for 2 years after that. So that was my introduction into Google. But later on, I found, I looked at one of my competitors and I found that they had 69 Google reviews and I had 2. So I decided right then to buckle down and start going after Google reviews. And I'll show you a little bit more later on how I did that. Moving on, I just want to tell you that our business platform has always been the same thing that we've used to raise our kids. Our philosophy of life is valuable people, valuable relationships, creating valuable results. So that's how we raised our family, and that's how we run our business. So let's get started on the actual practicality of it. So imagine if your business was on page 1 of Google search 4.3 million times in 1 year. My technical partner, Craig, actually has a client that he did that. And I know what that's like because our Google business profile comes up hundreds, if not thousands of times a month. And we get business at AlleyKat Signs and Marketing from California, from New York, from Toronto. As a matter of fact, that's how Auto Trim found me, was they searched on Google, and that's how you find other people to do installs for you often in other cities, right? So you already know how positively it affects your life. So if we could see traffic results like this, take a look at this graph here that I'm going to show you. I see some questions coming up there. We'll come to those in a few minutes. But take a look at these search listings. This is for one business in a period of 28 days. This business was 32,800 times in 28 days, the #1 result on Google. And by the way, these graphics, I didn't create them. Google creates these, and you have access to this in your Google console. So not only did they appear 32,800 times in Google search, but they appeared 35,900 times in Google Maps. And the really cool thing about this is that Google only tracks the unique numbers of eyeballs. So if you've gone back to a search 2, 3, 4 times, or even your own website, it only records you once, or your IP address once. So 32,800 times as unique search results, those are huge numbers. And a lot of times people are, if you don't have your Google profile show up right on the screen, you at least show up in the Google Map Pack. Now, if you don't know what the Map Pack is, this is a picture of it here. I did a search for local breweries. You can see on my shirt here, I do a lot of work with craft breweries as well. And so the Map Pack shows the top 3 results in your area, and it indicates them on maps. So if people are searching for sign shops or for doctors or body shops or whatever, they can literally click on the icon on the map. Then there's also more places. You can click on the button down there and you're going to see additional businesses similar to yours. So here's another set of traffic that's pretty impressive. This is a performance tab for 2 of my tech partners clients. The first performance tab, you see they were 41,200 times came up as the #1 search. And out of that, they had 52,000 views. Well, how do you get 52,000 views? Well, that 41,000 is their specific company that came up, but we also build into the profile additional bits of data that also are served up separately. So they're linked back to your Google Business Profile, so you can actually get more views than you actually have on searches. And then to the right of that, you see that the activities, there was 266,000 activities. Well, that's a 500 or 600% increase on the actual number of views. So what that means is activities are things like people clicking to go to your website, people clicking on the phone to make a call, people downloading a map, or people clicking to send you an email. Or of course, now there's the chat widget on there, so clients can chat with you directly from their cell phone. So I'm not a great mathematician, but 600% ROI, that sounds like a pretty good job to me. So I want to keep being where my customers are, and I want to be seen on Google Business Profile. So if you want to get more insights or more views on your Google Business Profile, the very first thing that you need to do is start putting more pictures on your Google Business Profile. I know we're a little out of sync here on our slides, but that's okay. If you want to get seen on Google, the thing you have to do is see more pictures or put more pictures up on there. So agree or disagree. If you're not on the first page of Google, are you visible or invisible? Let me ask you this. When's the last time you went to page 2 of Google search? If you don't find what you're looking for, you're probably just going to either research or you're going to click on somebody who's there, right? So literally being seen on Google, you've got to be on the first page. So that's the problem getting found online. So it's not only difficult, but it's competitive. Every day there's more and more people getting onto the internet and posting like literally millions and millions of pages. So you've got to be found in a way that you can compete with people who are making paid ads, which always come up at the top, or you're competing with search engine optimization for big companies that have got gobs and gobs of money. Well, what we're talking about here with the Google Business Profile is actually a field leveler. This will actually always come up. If your profile is optimized, it only shows up as on the first page. And this is what's so critical. Regardless of ad status, regardless of money spent on search engine optimization outside of Google, and I have another whole video of why Google SEO is better than any other kind of SEO, but rest assured, Google Business Profile with an optimized profile will always show up on the first page. So we're going to explore the history of Google. Google Business Profile started in 2014, and that started with the pigeon algorithm. And the pigeon algorithm was the very first time that Google had set up the search engine to look for social media platforms. And at the time, that was kind of unique. No other Google or no other search engine was searching for social media platforms. So that means the things that we're posting on Facebook and LinkedIn and any other social media platform is going to populate on search, right? Well, not exactly. You actually have to have a Google business profile set up, and you have to manage it in the proper way in order to have your social media contact indexed to the Google search profile. So it all started out with Google Plus, then it morphed into Google Business, Google My Business, and then it morphed into Google Business Profile. And the way that we found out about the effectiveness of a Google Business Profile is that my tech partner, Craig, created a Google Plus post for a client, and he copied that from a Google document. Then he cleared his cache, and he took the information that he had just put into the Google profile into the search bar, and he searched for it. Now, something really amazing happened. That post came up as the #1 post. What's amazing about that is, if you know anything about backlinks or search engine optimization or building a website, you know that it usually takes 4 days to 4 weeks to sometimes even 4 months for Google to index your content. Nothing can make it happen in 18 seconds. Absolutely nothing. So Craig started researching this, and then he found out that if you're using Google tools to populate the Google business profile, they're linked and they immediately index. And that's the difference between regular search engine optimization and on-page search optimization and backlinks, is that you don't have to wait for the Google bots to crawl your website. As soon as you start putting data on there, it's going to be indexed immediately. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So Google Plus has gone away. It's now Google Business Profile. And Google Business Profile is literally a micro website that sits on top of Google search. And what it does is, when Google does a search, it looks at 2 different places. It's kind of like a bank, but a Google bank operates in data. And Google goes to its own vault first. And what's in Google's vault is the Google Business Profiles. So that's what comes up on the right-hand side of the screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, when you're doing optimization, that's when you come up with 2.6 billion hits on a bunch of different information. Now, when you go to the Google Business or Google Search, do you click on the left-hand side where there's like 50 different things that may or may not have data for you, or do you click on the relevant data, which is usually in the Google Business Profile? I know I usually I don't click on the ads. I don't click on the data on the left. I usually click on one of the 2 or 3 things in the map pack. And the one I always go to is the one that's got the highest number of reviews. So here's an interesting statistic for you. 60% of the adult public in North America in the last 2 or 3 days has actually interacted with a Google Business Profile. They've either made a cell phone call, they've made a buying decision, or a directional decision in the last couple of days. So that's just an outstanding number. And I know I, as a businessman, want to be where people are searching for me. So Google Business Profile is the place to post your company services, your products, your messaging, your website. Anything that has to do with your business can fit into the Google Business Profile. And as I said before, it's always at the top of Google search. So it's more powerful than ads. It's more powerful than search engine optimization. And the other thing is, it's a one-way social media platform. So what that means is, you don't get people commenting back and poo-pooing your ideas. You're putting exactly the content out that you want to have. The back end, they can reply to it, but the only way that people reply is through reviews. And usually those are customers, and hopefully for the most part, they're satisfied. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So you can be featured on Google Maps or Google Google Search, or you can be featured on both as a hybrid. Some of this has changed lately, and there's still updates coming out with the new algorithm update. And as you know, changes are always going to happen with Google. So if you're building for the future and trying to accommodate for changes, where's the best place to factor in changes? Building on a Google property or building on a third-party property? Well, obviously building on a Google property, because Google always looks there first. So let's talk a little bit about your Google profile. First of all, you have to have an address. You've got to decide if you're going to show it or not, but you have to have a fixed address. Google is cracking down on that because there's been a lot of spammy Google profiles out there. And this is a good thing for those of us who run legitimate businesses. We're very happy about that. It can't be a post office box. It can't be a private mailbox. It has to be an actual physical address. So you select it. If you select yourself as a service area business, your address can be hidden from the public so people don't come and see it. But if you select yourself as an actual physical address, then you're going to show up with a pin on Google Maps, and that's a great thing. Second thing is you have to decide on a phone number. Now, if you have a hard line, I recommend using your business landline. If you don't have a landline, you can certainly use a cell phone, but I will caution you against using tracing numbers. You can use a tracking number or a tracing number, but always put your landline in as an auxiliary number. That's how Google is staying on top of and verifying what are real Google profiles. And the last thing that you want if you're running a successful business is to have your Google business profile suspended. So you won't get calls on that necessarily on that landline through the website. You'll get them through the tracking number, but that just lets Google know that you're real. Next thing you want to do is upload your logo. Get a cover photo uploaded that's usually shot with a cell phone, so it's geotagged. You'll see that I've got mine with my truck on the front of my Google business profile. I update those on a really regular basis. And the really cool thing about the Google using your logo is that everywhere that Google serves up anything that it comes from your Google business profile, your logo is actually a hyperlink back to your Google profile. So they always have an easy way of reaching you. So that's some pretty cool stuff that you can build into your Google business profile to get found more quickly and effectively. So we've talked a little bit about the problem being faced by owners is we need to be found, but not when people are just looking around, but we want to be found when they're ready to make a decision. When is that right time? Well, an internet search when they're doing research is not necessarily the right time. We want to be at them in front of them when they're ready to make a purchase. And that's what Google wants too. So the cool thing about the Google vicinity algorithm, which is one of their more recent updates, is it tries to find people who are very far along in the purchase making decision and connect them with exactly the right people. So Google's laid out a ton of different tools for you. And if you build the right products and information into those tools, Google's going to serve you up to the right people. So with the Google business profile, we've already talked about it showing up all the time on the top. But how do we get our Google business profile to be very, very effective? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to put in your services. And by building in your products and services, you're able to build in descriptions, and those descriptions are true SEO, because with a product, you get to put in 1,000-character description. With a service, you get to put in 300 characters to define your services. And that, as I said before, is pure SEO, not what I call that BSEO. And once you've got your services in, you can add more and more services. So whether it's, sign permit applications, or in this case, some cases it might be installation services or site surveys. You put each one of those in as a separate service, and you get a 300-character description that you can put in with those. So you can also then add in products, and obviously for a sign shop, a product could be wraps, it could be A-frames, it could be glass signs, it could be glass graphics. The neat thing about a product is you can put in 1,000-character description, and again, that's all pure SEO that Google searches. So that's the place where you want to build it. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you have an online store, you can actually have a buy now button on your product, and it'll take the client to your online store. They can purchase there. And then when their purchase is finished, depending on how you've set up your profile, they will be brought right back to your Google business profile. And the neat thing about that is they might have made a purchase without even going to your website, but they were taken right to your buy now or right to your purchase page, completely bypassing your website. Because if Google serves it up, Google already has confidence in you, and our clients tend to have confidence in the search products that come up. So yeah, it's just one of the most effective ways of getting customers to run through. I know with AlleyKat Signs and Marketing, I can literally track hundreds of thousands of dollars now of business that has come in through Google Business Profile, whether it's through my reviews. I've literally am doing purchases in online chats now, and then have people wire me the money. So I'm so excited about it. It's worked really well for us. Excuse me. So I'm kind of curious to see where we're at here, where some of you people are. Type a 1 in the chat if you have a Google Business Profile already. I'd like to see where we're at here. Okay, great. I see a few ones coming up there. Now, here's really the more important thing. Are you where I was about 6 or 7 years ago, where I had a Google Business Profile, or back then it was a Google Plus, and I didn't know what to do with it and didn't reply to my reviews? So type a 0 in the chat if you've got a Google Business Profile, but it's just kind of sitting there and it's not really doing anything for you. Let me know what we got going on here. Oh, I got a few of those out there too. Okay, no problem. So I'm not going to teach you how to set up a Google profile right now. You already know how to do that because most of you have got them. And really, I'll do a video on that later on. But what I'm going to do is go now into some other things that are real practical for you. So let's go on with it. We already talked a little about uploading photos. The number one thing that you can do to build your business profile is to upload photos. Now, they don't all have to be from your own phone either, but you do need to have a real regular input of photos. Google will actually tell you what it wants. What Google wants to feed the machine is to upload more photos. What we have is, if I go into the back of my profile, it will literally tell me if I'm high or low, or needing more photos, and it literally tells you what to do to get a more effective profile. So the reason that works is, if you're an existing company, like I know the Auto Trim group are that I'm speaking to right now, the very first thing I would do is go through your archives of the photos that you've taken over the years, because the great thing is you've probably taken with a cell phone, and start uploading about 10 a day just to your profile. That does two things. One, it tells Google that you're participating in your profile, so that gets the algorithm excited. The second thing is it shows how far out of away from your city core that you're doing business. So I actually have pictures of jobs that I've done for you, Auto Trim members, that are installs that I was simply an installer on the job, but I still click on those and I upload those to my website and to my Google profile, so that Google knows that, hey, we're doing work all over the city. And then it really becomes a whole menu for you for the type of work that you do, so people can see it. So don't claim work for jobs that you haven't done, but there's no expectation of privacy for a business to have you don't need permission to take pictures, I guess is what I'm saying. If it's a place that you've done business or you've done estimates for, you're within your rights to be able to upload those pictures to the Google Business Profile. So that's my first takeaway, is for you to do photos. Second, add your products and services. We talked a little bit about that earlier on, but what you want to do is, the first thing you want to do is, when you add a product, is take a picture of it, and the picture should be formatted to 1200 by 900 pixels. And then you want to give it a product name, And then you need to create a category for your products. And your categories, you can break them down into very, very minute detail. You can do auto graphics, you can do window graphics, you can do corporate lobby graphics. And then in every one of those products, you can put 1,000 character description. Now, don't put, Bill and Ted Sign Shop in there, because you're already on the Google profile. They don't need to know the name of your sign shop. Don't put your phone number in there. Don't put your email in there. That Google frowns on that. That'll penalize you, and you need to know what you can get penalized for as well. So just put in a description with feature-rich target words that when people search for those target words, they're gonna find your particular product. So 1,000 characters to do that. I've got a little bit further on. I've got a picture of Firefly fuel. It's a paraffin lamp oil. You can see it there. They only use 690 words. You can see the description on the right-hand side. They only use 690 characters, but they've got 1,000. So you can use Google, AI, or you can use artificial intelligence nowadays, GBP chat, and you can say, write a description for lamp oil and the benefits of it, yada, 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 and it will help you. You don't have to think about it long and hard all day long and spend hours and hours doing it. You can actually use AI to optimize your workflow. So another thing that people have is Google services, but they don't even, or not Google services, they have services on the Google profile, but they don't even know. Google will actually scrape or crawl your website and find out what services you offer. So you need to go into your Google profile and click on the services that you can edit on. And sometimes I've seen lists of 10 or 15 services on there. A lot of them I do, but sometimes they put in things there like concierge service that I don't do. So I have to delete that out, because you don't want to be found for things that you're not doing either. But go back in and fill in all of the character descriptions. I'm telling you all the things that I learned and all the things that I did wrong myself, folks. I would have like, A-frames, $245, call us now. And now my description is completely different from that. And a lot of times those descriptions don't come up. It's just food for the Google monster that you have to feed it. Okay. So if you do add your Google products and services, and if you do add your Google photos or photos to your Google, you're going to turn your visibility on fire compared to your competitors, because most of your competitors in your same city are not doing this. So it's like swimming with the sharks. You don't have to be the fastest swimmer. You just have to not be the slowest swimmer. So start building that profile. Okay, now Google allows you to post. Remember I talked earlier about how Google Business Profile is actually a social media platform on top of Google, but it's not like social media platforms where you want to be putting a bunch of fluff on there. You don't want to be showing pictures of your dinners or just pictures of your products. This is the time for you to put a call to action in there. So you put in a picture, you describe a problem, or you describe a solution that you're doing. And then you say, you put a button in there that says, call for more information, or you can have them click on a map, or you can have them click for more information and it jumps to a page on your website. Okay. So that is posting. You need to be posting 3 to 5 times a week. It's just a priority. I can't imagine how many times people are posting to Facebook, but not their Google business profiles. Facebook doesn't make you money. It just causes you emotional angst. Put your money into your Google business profile. If that's where you're going to be putting your postings, post there, because there you're going to get a return on your investment. But here's something really cool. You can also take your links from your posts and you can post that to Facebook or Twitter or any of the other social media platforms. So it's really strong, folks. You can take your Google business profile content and push it out to your social media, and you don't have to now spend money on blogging or time on blogging. I can't remember, how many hours. And then so many websites I see have got blogs and then they stopped 2 years ago, because the effort that's involved is it's the juice isn't worth the squeeze on that kind of stuff. But my marketing mentor, Craig, who started this platform, started this training with me, he has got blogs going now, or not blogs, posts going back 7 years, and it's continuous. You just keep feeding it. So one way that it's really changed my life is with reviews. This is the last thing I'm going to touch base on now, is always ask for and respond to reviews. And clients aren't going to respond to a request for a review just on the first time. I've used automation now. I have a program that sends out 5 consecutive emails and SMS text messaging, depending on which contact information I have. So you may get up to 10 requests from me for a 5-star Google review. Now, obviously, don't do it if you're not doing 5-star business. If you're not creating products that people are going to be happy with, don't ask for reviews, because people, are 10 times more likely to give a negative review than they are a positive review. But this is the thing that got me found by AutoTrim years ago, and this is what's really driven our business to the next level. And just think about it. My wife won't go to a restaurant or shop at a certain store unless she reads 10, 15 different reviews. Well, if your family is like that, what do you think your customers are at? But here's another really important thing. Actually, Greg, who's my tech, is sitting here with me right now. If he came to me and he sent me a resume, and he was applying for a job, and if I had a job listing for $25 an hour, and I've got 492 Google reviews with a 4.9 rating, which we do, and my competitor up the street is offering the same wage and the same hours, and he's got 67 reviews with a 4.2 ranking, which company do you think that employee is going to choose to go for if he gets an offer from both places? And one of the hardest things that we have right now is getting staff, isn't it? A lot of our businesses, we got customers coming through the door, but we can't complete the amount of jobs that we have because we don't have the right staff. So building up your Google business profile puts you in a great position for staffing. What about 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, when you go to sell your business? If I've got over 500 or 600 5-star Google reviews, or even a rating of 4.9 or 5.0, is my business going to sell before my competitors? Yeah. Is it going to sell for more over my competitors? For sure. I bet you I've increased the value of my business by $50,000 just by having those. Well, matter of fact, I know, I've been told. Okay. So reviews are a good thing, but what happens if someone gives you a negative review? Well, first of all, you've got to reply to it. You have to reply to every single review. I actually have a couple of 1-star reviews in my business as well. So these things happen. It's kind of it's just the nature of being exposed, for being out there. Now, I for sure know, well, I'm 99% sure know that neither one of these 2 1-star reviews are customers of mine. I know one of them is a guy that I left a 1-star review for, and then because his business didn't treat me well, and then mysteriously another 1-star appeared on mine. So there is a button that you can report it to Google and get them removed. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You know what? In all honesty, the 1-star reviews don't bother me as much as they used to. When I had 10 reviews at 1-star, that would have really bothered me. But with 492, it actually brings my rating down from a 5 to a 4.9. And nobody, people prefer psychologically to deal with someone who's not quite perfect. A 4.6, 4.4, 4.2, people can live with that. You just have to be, again, better than your competition. So it's a good thing. Go figure. Okay. Here's a bonus tip for you. Ask and answer questions. When you go into a Google business profile, you can see there's questions and answers on there. I would go back and have a brainstorming session with your team and find out what are the top 10 or 12 questions that people ask your business, like the phone calls that you take over and over and over again. Think how much time you can free up just by not even having to answer the phone, because your answer is right there on your Google business profile. Google loves that. So the key is to answer the questions and answer them quickly and succinctly. And if you've got more questions and answers out there than your competitors, again, you're the expert in the business. People are going to bring more business to you. Okay, so that's one quick tip. Another thing is you have to interact with your Google business profile on a regular basis. Easter is coming up in a couple of weeks. How many people are open for Easter? Probably none of us. That's a great thing about being in the business that we're in, is that we're closed weekends and evenings for the most part. Well, go into your Google business profile and see if you've got Good Friday marked as open or closed, or if you've got special hours in there. If you go in, and I'll give you a little tip, this is what I do. I only change my hours for holidays 1 month in advance, because that's just one more thing that Google sees me interacting. I interact a ton with it. But all things being equal, if you just go in and change your hours and your competition hasn't done that, that'll pop you right to the top of Google business search results, because you're the one who's interacted with your profile. It's a really simple thing. So just as holidays come up, change your hours and make your adjustments. So don't do a whole year in advance. Do them 1 month in advance. Okay. We already talked about reviews. Oh, one more thing I want to touch on. Remember, products, you can have 1,000 character description. Services, you can have a 300 character description. Google reviews are so important to Google. They give you 4,000 characters to reply to a Google review. You can write a sermon in there about how awesome they were, the product that they bought, the long-term relationship that you've had with them, whatever the problem was. You can have a description of, what you did to solve the problem. People don't expect businesses to be perfect. They expect businesses to be attentive and to deal with issues as they come up. So important for you to reply to your Google reviews. Okay, so a quick recap here. I've tried to develop and deliver 4 various aspects of the process of what we do with all of our customers. We talked about the photos. We talked about products and services. We talked about reviews. We talked about updating your hours. And what was the other thing that we talked about? Something else, I can't remember. Anyways, we talked a lot about how to get attention and be found on Google Business Profile. So, oh yes, asking questions. So, how many of you feel like you've been drinking from a water hose in this thing? I've spilled out a lot of information there, and giving you all the stuff that I use to build our business and to build our customers' businesses. So there's a couple of things that you can do. Part of my commitment is for this just to be a training, but if you are interested in having help to do this, we'd be more than happy to consider that. You can approach me offline. You have our contact information through the AutoTrim group. The reason you might want to do that is there are some fail points that you can have. You might end up trying to set up your Google Business Profile and end up spending thousands of dollars of your own time and effort trying to get things done. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to dial things in because you don't have quite as much experience. So there is help out there. I've got other videos on our YouTube channel, and if you're interested, I'll send that information to you at a later date. Now I've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds left out of the 45 minutes that I committed. Let's just open this up to questions and see if anybody's got anything out there. Craig, can you turn on my speaker for me?
Do you have a question from John DeYoung? Is there an easy way to interact with your profile from your iPhone and app?
Well, John, I don't have an iPhone, so I'm not 100% sure on that, but I would presume that actually, whatever email that you're associated with, this is how it works on your PC and on Android. Whatever email that you've got associated with your account, you should be able to edit your profile from within either Maps or in the Search Console itself. Hope that answers your question. And that's, by the way, John DeYoung in Ontario, no relation to me, but we have the exact same name and we're both in the sign business. How hilarious is that? Anybody else? Okay, well, I just want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share this part of my adventure with you. I know it's been actually a place for me to increase revenue for my business. You know, we took on some loans from the government during COVID, and I've reinvested a bunch of that money into experience. And experience always costs money, and it doesn't always give positive results. But I'm just giving you the benefit of my experience. This is something I totally recommend for sign shops to move into the future to you know, to be able to service your customers. And if you are interested in hearing more about that, just give me a call or shoot me an email. My email is john@AlleyKatSigns.com. That's AlleyKat with a K. And I look forward to hearing from you. Anything else? All right. Thanks very much, folks. Have a great day.